So, like, when you're in the house, obviously, you do not have any connection with the outside world. So, whatever you have going on in your life, you gotta have somebody figure it out for you. So, let's say if you get an eviction notice on the door or something crazy, you just have to figure it out when you get back. There's nothing that you can do about it while you're gone. You have to be locked in and focused on the game, and that's what I had to do as well. So, you kinda just make sure that someone in your life can handle just day-to-day things for you if there's anything to handle. I think most people that go on the show kinda like, they pause their life for a while and, maybe move out, they live with their parents or something like that, and then they just figure it out once they get back.
Wow. So you were on the show for 72 days?
71 days total,
71, thank
72
you.
days gone, yes.
So y up until then, the show goes for what, 90 days or around 90?
Yeah, about that. So the reunion is September 28th. I think that'd probably be about 92, 94 days-ish, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
So you were killing the game, right? Like online
So
people are saying that Mickey was gonna win, right? You were even head of household,
I was.
right? Explain what head of household is.
So head of household is basically you win a competition and you're allowed to have the power to determine who goes on the block to go home.
Yeah.
So you typically will pick 1 to 3 people based on what the rules are for that season. This season was 2 people. And you decide who you think is the least important for your game to go home. Those 3 people compete to decide which one of the 3 comes off the block, and then there's 2 people left basically. And, yeah, I got my power, and people said that I let my power go to my head. I don't
Did you?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, let's be real. It's HOH. I don't think the power went to my head. I think that when people saw that I was able to obtain power and handle it in a very strong and intentional way,
Uh,
that was the issue. That was the threat, in my opinion.
okay, so let's talk about a little bit of drama.
Oof.
So when you were head of household, let's talk about I don't know if we were kind of like Lemonade Gate. I don't know what we want to call it.
Lemonade Gate.
Lemonade Gate.
Lemonade game.
So when when you're the head of household, you get your own kind of like section of the refrigerator or stuff like that.
No. Okay, so when you're head of household, you actually get your own fridge.
Oh,
So you have
your
a
own
fridge
refrigerator.
in your room. It's a mini fridge, yes. And all your favorite things are put into that fridge.
Yeah.
So when your head of household is over, you move all those things out, obviously, and it's
Mm.
available to everyone if you don't identify that it's yours.
Right.
So yes, there was some lemonade that
Was
was
yours,
mine.
and then it made it to the common fridge
Yeah.
in the house, and then you took a drink out of that lemonade, but it was your lemonade.
It was my lemonade. Yes, yes.
Was your name written on it?
So yes, there's initials. They have like little stickers on the bottom of the bottle. And it's funny, that particular lemonade, someone had already drank it. So when I put my stuff back in the fridge, someone drank it and I had to ask for more because I was like, hey, like someone drank my lemonade. So they replenished it and gave me a new bottle. And that new bottle was the one that you saw me drinking that I hid. I hid it in the very back behind. I remember it was I feel like it was a bag of broccoli and something else that I kind of pushed to the back to make sure it was behind that. And that's what I was drinking from.
So nobody else was supposed to drink that. That was your lemonade.
It was just for me. Yes.
Like you wound up on TMZ.
I know, right? Which is crazy. I never envisioned myself being on TMZ, I'll be honest. But for Lemonade, it's crazy.
Yeah, Lemonade Gate was
Lazy.
pretty. I mean, people were saying it was kind of gross. I mean, I drink out of the fridge in my house, but I'm the only one that is in my house. So I understand. But you know how some people are, they'll just take your stuff without permission. People will sneak.
Yeah.
Oh,
steal
I
your
agree.
stuff. Yeah.
I agree. Which is why I drank out of my bottle. Drank my lemonade originally. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna hide it. And if they do find it, well,
They don't drink after you.
they drinking my germs, I guess.
It's like
That's
spitting
so
on the
rude, but it's
pizza.
the truth.
Like
Yes.
spitting on the pizza when you don't want to eat it.
Oh my gosh, I would never do that. But that is
I used to do that when I was a
given that.
kid. I used to do that when I was younger.
That's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I used to do that. I would spit all over the pizza so that my sister couldn't eat any. Hi, Heather.
I mean, but I'm saying she probably would still eat it. Like, who cares?
No, she wouldn't. Nobody would.
I'm not gonna lie, Batman couldn't beat that information out of me.
Wow.
So
What do you mean? I was like 9.
That's fair though, because when you're a kid, you do
Okay.
stuff
When
like
you're a kid, you do little silly stuff like
yeah,
that.
or like you lick it or something. And like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't have
Yeah,
any.
you can't have any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, all right. That's fair.
No, it's like I'm not understanding.
So, this particular episode of Invested, we are diving into what I feel is an attack on Black women.
Mm.
And I know that some of the conversations that were going on inside the house and outside in the real world had to do with your energy and you being a Black woman on this show with predominantly white people and other races of individuals. How did you feel being, I think one of maybe was it 3 Black women in the house? How did you feel being in that house, and how was that experience for you as a Black woman?
So, as a Black woman, I think being in the house was just very different. Obviously, I live in Atlanta. We are the mecca of culture, right? And I don't think that there was any hint of that culture in the house, which again, it doesn't have to be. I think I was the hint of that culture.
Okay.
So, a lot of things that, I talk about commonly, I don't think a lot of people understood. Just even music or artists or things I enjoy doing. I don't think a lot of us had the same experiences or similarities when it came to that. So that was one thing. And I also do think that a lot of people expected me to react to certain things in the house as they would anticipate a Black woman would, if that makes sense.
What do you mean anticipate a Black woman? How would a Black woman react?
So, well, I'm not going to say that we react this way, but I do think a lot of people expect Black women to be the ones that, get angry a lot quicker than others, depending on what the circumstances are. So I try to be very intentional about that. When things would happen, for instance, obviously me and a castmate, Riley, got into it really bad.
Mhm.
And, he was yelling and using profanity towards me.
Wow.
And in that moment, I held my composure, but I do think that the narrative or people would have expected me to pop off per se. And those are things that I tried not to do just because I did not want to go in and be labeled as the ABW, which of course is the angry Black woman.
Wow, that's so it was hard for you to respond to someone being aggressive to you, and you felt the pressure to not look like the angry Black woman, which I don't think that's fair. Someone's cursing at you, you should be able to respond how you want to respond.
Agreed, but I think it's bigger than that. Obviously, you have millions of people watching you, and obviously, everyone expects one thing, and I wanted to try to be a little bit the opposite of that for sure. Everything I did was under a microscope anyway, obviously, as it always is for us.
Mhm.
So I was trying to be very intentional and very careful with what I did do, even though obviously I still came off as this super strong and some people said overly confident person. I just think that's naturally me and naturally a lot of us.
That's you.
It is me.
That I mean, it's naturally you. It's not, nobody is bothered by that, but I think and there's nothing wrong with that. And also, this is something that I say again, coming from this city, Atlanta, you carry a different energy about yourself.
Ew.
Especially dealing with people of other races. So sometimes it's like you're not supposed to talk to me like you don't talk to me like that. Like we don't have that level of energy towards one another
Right.
in the city. So sometimes a lot of times they expect a maybe more docile Black person,
I agree.
100%.
perspectives like that, and
I agree.
you don't play that shit in Atlanta.
No, Atlanta's a different beast. And I think if you've never been to Atlanta and you don't know anyone from Atlanta, even though I'm not born and raised, but you guys have adopted me, we do carry an era of us, like an era of us.
Yeah.
We are who we think we are.
We on our own shit.
We do.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong to say that. I always say it's controversial, but I say there's Black people from Atlanta
Mhm.
and there's Black people everywhere else.
Correct.
And I've said that before. I've said that plenty of times that I've never, as long as I've lived in the city, I've never felt like a minority. It's just a different feeling.
It is.
You stand equal. You don't feel above anybody. It's just
Absolutely.
you just feel right, even with everybody else in the city. You don't feel like, okay, white supremacy's got their thumb on me, and I need to behave or act a particular way to be able to operate in this environment. So,
Agreed.
That's so you made it to but there's like 2.5 weeks left before the show is the show is over, the competition is over, and we figure out who our winner is, right? So after leaving, you made it super far. So, but after leaving the show,
Mhm.
you are now stepping into a content creator position, right? What's the that experience like? How have the fans carried over to this new occupation?
Ooh, oh my goodness. So I guess my new role as a content creator, it's interesting. I do feel very overwhelmed. I can't even lie and say that I don't, just because I do think there's a lot of pressure to make sure that I quote unquote perform and stay quote unquote relevant, as others might say. But the fan base, I'll be honest, is really dope. Like I've seen a lot of the things that people have been saying. It's been a lot of hate, which I knew would happen going into this, but there's been a lot of love. Like people really respect me for just being my
Yeah.
authentic self. And I think what I'm trying to do now is just make sure I channel more of that. So allowing people to see more of me, do more experiences that allow people to understand the city and the culture more than they ever did before, and bringing people here and seeing little bits and pieces of what my life looks like so they have a better understanding of why I am the way I am and why I was the way I was in that house.
You oh sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you're also a business owner,
Correct.
right? Tell us a little bit more about your business and how that plays into your creation and your social media life.
So I own a company called Mingle. So we do elevated experiences here in Atlanta, Georgia. And the goal is to basically fine tune what people consider a good time in the city of Atlanta. So just showing the world, obviously, that we have so much going on, but we're able to curate things that are more than just lemon pepper wings and hookah, which are things that we love. We love them in Atlanta. Let's be
That's a
clear.
crazy take.
But it's the truth. We love it here. But obviously, I'm just trying to be a little bit more intentional with just adding more things to what we have going on. So we do a lot of activations. A lot of people meet each other at my experiences. I have a couple of couples. I have a mingle baby. We have a mingle wedding.
Oh, nice.
So we just curate dope vibes for very, very dope people.
Full disclosure, while Mickey was on Big Brother, I was her social media coordinator. I was trying to help out because I always feel like when you do shows like this,
Mhm.
like especially I was watching Love Island, how popular, like people went from having like 100,000 followers to like 3 million.
Million, yes.
Yeah, million. And of course, Love Island is a huge, massive show, more on the newer side of things.
Mhm.
How are you handling people recognizing you? Because first time I saw you since being back,
Mhm.
he was like, "That's Mickey from Big Brother. I need to take a picture with her." Like, she got fans, like real shit. Like, she got real life fans. We were on the roof,
Yeah.
and this guy that works for the Gather Spot was like, "Yo, that's Mickey from Big Brother. I got to get a picture with her."
That's insane.
You've gone from a reality, reality TV to reality creator now.
I like that.
So how are you handling that?
I'm handling it well. I think I'm a very humble person. I'm still shocked that people even know who I am. Like I went to Nobu, and it's cool to be known by people that are of color and that are not of color.
Yep.
And they are happy to see me all the same. So that's really dope. And honestly, I think the biggest thing for me is just trying to make sure I make people proud. I don't want them to support me or be a fan of me and I'm not doing anything that obviously, is of great value to just my people, them, and the city of Atlanta.
I got a good question for you. Noah has another one about being out of the house, but this is my question.
Okay.
What was the most shocking thing you heard when leaving and coming back to reality?
Oh, about myself?
No, about just anything in pop culture. Like when you came out, like this
Mhm.
happened while you were in there and you didn't know.
What did I hear? I heard what did I hear? Oh, I don't know. Am I allowed to say this? I heard that Diddy, he's waiting, like he got convicted, right?
Oh, you went in before Diddy was
That's
crazy.
crazy.
No, he was found not guilty.
Oh, really? Oh,
Was
someone
he?
told me that he was found guilty.
I can't remember. Wait,
Let's try
Quote unquote allegedly,
but
right? Don't
verify.
Yeah, let's verify. I did hear that.
most of the charges he was found not guilty on. So that I didn't.
Yeah, he was convicted on 2 counts
That's what they said. Yeah.
of transportation. And
But not the most
125.
serious stuff.
on July
Oh.
2nd. On
Yeah.
July 2nd.
On July 2nd. Okay,
Okay.
so you had gone in.
Yeah, I was
So
gone.
you was 4th of July?
I missed all the good holidays.
Yeah, man.
I know. The
Wow.
cookouts, the barbecues. I wanted ribs so bad. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
What
Y'all
about
taking it without me?
so you were gone, you missed the Young Thug tapes.
I didn't see any of that. See, I still don't even know about that.
So yeah, the Young Thug boy. So apparently this is Ratlanta now. Because everybody looks like they're calling everybody a rat.
No.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. Everybody's been going at each other about snitching. So snitch culture is really under fire right now.
Okay.
Yeah, you missed all the
See, which one was that?
apparently Young Thug had the greatest hits of jail phone calls, and he basically dissed everybody from Drake to Kendrick to to Gunna to everybody. And now they're being dropped like every day.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're being dropped.
Oh, that's fire. I can't lie. I didn't even know that. I'm only 2 days out, obviously. I feel like I was in the feds, but I'm 2
Yeah.
days out. And there's so much stuff I still don't know anything about.
Yeah, they dropping their boys. They dropping their boys. Yeah, he called out everybody.
You even have a few Mariah the Scientist conversations that got leaked as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember the last one, like, am I your baby? Like, I remember that one. That's the last one I heard.
He dissed Glorilla. He dissed Drake. He dissed Future. He dissed. I can't remember. I don't know. It's a lot going on.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot.
I've missed a lot, obviously.
So Noah has a question.
Oh, I have a few questions.
Oh gosh. What?
So
I know.
like any woman on TV, right? I'm
Mhm.
sure that the DMs were popping. What was the craziest DM you got when you came back and got your cell phone?
So, fun fact, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I still have not gone through all of my DMs because it's a little much.
Wow.
But I'm still trying to make my way through it.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Some of the but like one of the funniest ones I will say, there was 2. One was obviously someone said that, they were a huge fan of mine and that they're based here in Atlanta. And they asked if they could run me a bath, which I thought was very interesting.
Are they famous?
No, they have a nice amount of followers, so I'm not sure what they do.
Okay.
But they asked could they run me a bath. They were like, they just want to, run me a bath and say that could they take me to dinner, which was interesting. But the bath was very
Was the
filter.
bath first or the dinner?
It was bath first, and they
Oh,
they,
wow.
they
So
emphasized
bathe
that for
you,
some
then
reason.
feed you.
Correct.
That feeds you, then bathe you.
Correct. They wanted to bathe me, which I thought was very interesting.
Interesting.
And then another one was someone inquired if I was interested in selling undergarments that I wore while I was on the show.
Whoa.
So,
Wait,
yeah.
specifically while you were on the show?
They want your big brother panties?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
People are very interesting. So yeah, those are the two ones that I can remember the most. But yeah, so none of those were responded to. I kept it moving, but I'm just like, oh, that's very interesting. Yeah.
How much were they trying to pay for 'em?
I'm not gonna disclose. There was a price though. I can't lie. Yeah, they
What was
like,
you don't say the price?
he was offering $2,500.
What?
What?
$2,500?
Y'all are
What?
so childish.
Man, I sell my drawers right now.
Really?
But
What, the ones you got on, right?
I'll sell these drawers right now. $2,500? You had these Supreme Hanes drawers right
I'm
now.
screaming.
$2,500?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Ironically, though, before I got here today, I just realized that $2 bills are very valuable.
I've heard that.
I just saw a post here coming here, and you can get up to $1,000 to $4,000 for a $2 bill. And the crazy part is, they said especially they're the ones that were printed in I think like 2003 or whatever. And I went in my drawer because I have $2 bills, and I have two
Ew.
$2 bills that are crisp from 2003. So that's why AGs.
So you could buy multiple pairs of panties.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna do that. I don't buy drawers.
I owe all my grandmothers an apology for the
because
birthday
grandparents
gifts.
gave the $2 bills.
Yeah, man.
Sadie
You
said,
spent them hard.
"It worked."
Man, I should have, man. I should be on a
One,
yacht
two,
right
three.
now.
I got two. I went and looked. As soon as I started, I said, "Let me go look." I said 2003. I'm rich.
Oh, you're good.
I'm good.
Oh wow.
I'm finna buy me something. I'm finna auction my $2 bills off.
That's smart.
Quickly, one of the points of this podcast every week is to discuss our equity crowdfund raise on Fanbase. So if you've been watching, we crossed 13 million. We're glad that we're going to $17 million. So anybody watching right now that wants to invest in Fanbase, which is the #1 creator and social economy platform on the planet Earth, that's how I'm claiming it.
I love that.
You know what?
raise the
Let's even add to it. We just dropped an update.
We just dropped a brand new
Let's talk
update
about that.
So real quick,
I saw that.
for everybody out there, we just dropped a brand new update. Probably our biggest update of the year, because most of the things we've been doing on Fanbase this year have been internal changes, internal building, things like that. We're working on a recommendation engine that comes out later this month. But we changed the UI, we moved some things around, we added a content creation button, we made search easier, and we changed the audio bar, and now you can follow people from the feed. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of changes going on. So shout out to the team for all the amazing things that they've been doing, which gives you the reason to go invest in Fanbase right now. So you can go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. The minimum to invest in Fanbase is $399. They get you 60 shares of stock at Fanbase at $665 a share. This is not a GoFundMe, a Kickstarter. This is real equity into an ever-evolving platform that is leading the conversation in media and creators and monetization moving forward. So definitely go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. Our conversations have talked a lot recently about Black media and Black ownership, but we're going to go right back into what I feel has been an attack on Black women post-election with Kamala Harris, and what's been happening with Black women. So Noah has some things to talk about, some stats and some statistics, but I want to get into this conversation.
Yeah. Before I get in, I want to just shout out to everybody who is currently following the investor page on Start Engine, right? For those who are maybe skeptical and want to keep up with what we're doing, go follow us on Start Engine. You'll get all the recent updates that we put out weekly. So if you just want to learn a little bit more before you make the decision, be sure to follow us on the Start Engine page. So jumping back to what you are saying, right? I'm gonna just read something to you guys, right? And we're gonna talk about it, right?
Okay.
So President Donald J. Trump's rhetoric targeting Black mayors this year for the alarming loss of over 300,000 jobs held by Black women in recent months. We're going to be also examining the Supreme Court decision, which was 6-3, allowing ICE agents to resume detaining individuals based on appearance, language, job, or location. Basically, an advanced version of stop and frisk, which was in New York City back in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Effectively, what this is doing is greenlighting racial profiling.
Absolutely. So this is kind of disturbing. So to understand, there's been a massive job loss for Black women in America this year. In fact, 319,000 Black women have lost their jobs across the private and public sector. But what's been more interesting is that white women have gained 142,000 jobs.
Yep.
Hispanic women added 176,000 jobs, and white men saw an increase of 365,000 jobs.
Wow.
So do you guys think that there's an attack? I believe, I'm going to say I do, but what do you guys think that post, Kamala Harris running for president, how supportive Black women were in her campaign, that this is the way that the administration is trying to get back at Black women?
Mickey?
Honestly, it sounds like it. That's what it sounds like to me.
Mhm.
Because like, how else would that be happening, or why else would it be happening? I think it's unfortunate for sure.
Well, I mean, I'll say this, and this time last year we were arguing whether or not Kamala Harris was Black or not.
That is true.
And now we have the effects of the election, which is that women are losing their jobs. And we have to make sure that we support and definitely protect Black women in multiple ways. The way they get treated. I think we did. I don't know if we touched on it even when you were in the House. Did you felt race was part of what was going on in some of the things that were happening in the House? Like, because it's kind of like I guess it's a hierarchy. It's some sort of, there's a community there. Do you think race played a part in your exit?
So I'll say this. I'm not sure if race played a part in my exit, but I do think race could have potentially played a part in how I was received. I will say that just because, of course, I think there was a lot of things that I did in that house that were very similar to others that did not look 100% like me, that were more accepted and not as ridiculed as the things that I did personally. And so when it comes down to that, you look at it and say, okay, then what else could it be? Right.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where I'm sitting with that right now. I do think a lot of people had a lot of things to say about me when I came out,
Mhm.
about certain things and conversations and demeanor and the confidence, calling it, a whole lot of other things. But
Mhm.
when I compare myself to other house guests, I feel as though that we did similar things, but there's no hate in regards to what they did. So I can only look at a couple of
So
things.
you were treated differently. The same behavior was treated differently.
I think so. I think the same behavior was perceived differently for sure.
Got it.
Yes, from the viewers.
To jump into what you were saying, Isaac, I think it's easy to say that VP Harris was probably the most qualified candidate, at least in the last 100 years, right?
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
And to lose to Donald J. Trump, and unfortunately, it was not a close victory. America chose who they wanted, right?
Mhm.
And I say that to say that the perception of Black women as a result of media is really lacking. And this ties into what we were even saying last week, right? When do we stand up and defend our own?
Mm.
And that's the question I'm posing to you.
I mean, well, I'm always in defense. I've been very, very outspoken about how we need to be having these conversations, not just segments on radio shows or pages, but it needs to be a ever, evolving conversation. I think that I think this is definitely a wake up call for our community. And it should be, especially based off what's going on with the Supreme Court, because people understand, like, ICE can now stop you. And I want to be clear, ICE can now stop you based on your appearance. They can stop you based on your accent.
Mm.
They can stop based on your race, your location, or your job. So, and what I want to explain to people is ICE is not going after just Latino people. So my point to Black people out there in America, that supported Trump, do you think that ICE is going to be able to tell the difference between a Haitian person, a Jamaican person, and a black person? Do you think so?
Not at all. There's
Exactly. They're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Probably not.
So if you're walking down the street and ICE thinks that you're a Haitian or a Jamaican person, you just happen to be an American citizen. What are you going to do about that? What's going to happen? How are you going to handle that? And what lessons are we going to learn from that?
I mean, we saw it happen. Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez, who was a citizen in Florida, Hispanic man, he was detained wrongfully, and he was an American citizen, right? So we're going to see more and more of that increasing. And even extending that thought, I was thinking about our conversation from last week with Miss Tamisha Harris. And I think how we change this narrative is going back to what you said before, right? We need to start funding our own communities, our own brands, our own businesses. At the end of the day, I believe it all comes down to money and where we're putting our dollars.
I mean, look, one of the reasons why this platform exists is because it's an infrastructure play as well.
Yeah.
Like when these stories are being talked about, like I don't hear a lot of stories about Black women losing their jobs on social media.
Mhm.
And if we're not having these conversations consistently, one time is not enough. One time is not enough to talk about Black women being targeted and losing their jobs. One segment is not enough. One post is not enough. And we need to make sure that we're understanding that because there are elections coming up. There are opportunities for us to take back our power. And even way before then, even organize and how we're going to be able to defend against this, I guess this version of Jim Crow 2.0 that is coming down the pipeline or really is already here.
I agree. I think the biggest thing that you just said that I agree with is the awareness part. I don't think a lot of people know even the job situation at all. Obviously, I'm clueless because I've been gone, but no one even mentioned that to me as even a big thing that I should have known about while being gone.
Yeah.
I think our community has no idea that these things are happening to us,
I mean,
which is huge because it's us, you know?
yeah. And I think, I mean, again, every time I was meeting someone, they were like, yeah, I got laid off from all these corporate jobs, especially jobs in government,
Wow.
federal jobs. There was some conversation that Victor Blackwell was having on from CNN was having on, and it was really disturbing because it was a Black woman defending the loss of Black women's jobs. Like she was just, I don't know what she was doing about that. I don't know why she was doing that, but I felt that was, um, I don't know. I don't know what side of the game she on, but it wasn't really real, in my opinion. I was like, sister, what are you talking about? Like, oh yeah, but DEI helped a lot of people. So,
Especially in government. Yeah.
yeah.
This is I want to get into that, double down on that. What do you think these staff cuts, these new ICE policies, how do you think this will affect Black women in communities of color?
Well, economically, it's hard, and so Black men need to step up and start supporting Black women. If you know somebody needs a job, refer people that need jobs. Fine, if you can hire and help people out in places of employment, because somebody always screwing up every day. So somebody get fired every day, and there's a qualified Black woman to take that role. So we need to make sure that most people get their jobs from people referring them. Most people are like, oh, I'm gonna refer you to the job, and then boom, that's how you get the gig. So we need to start referring our friends and neighbors to find places where they can find employment. I get those questions again all the time. We are currently hiring. Hopefully we'll be in position to hire more. Our last two hires were, well, no, actually our last four hires were African American hires, 2 women, 2 men.
Yeah,
Just joined.
you're right.
We talked Quincy, Mario,
Mario.
Ashley, and Lauren.
Lauren. Yeah.
Those are the last 4 hires at Fanbase that we did make.
Yeah, all brilliant and talented on
And
that.
got brilliant and talented people.
So let's go into that. You just presented us with a meaningful strategy, right?
Mhm.
What strategies can Black women and other allies implement to combat these challenges that we're facing?
I would ask. I would ask. I don't know if you have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Ooh, so for me, I would just say this in regards to combating it. Even me, like when looking for work or just opportunities, like you said, it's not even about what you know anymore. It's really about who you know. So I think it's really about leaning into those connections, making yourself marketable,
Mhm.
right? Obviously, making sure that people are able to see you who might not be next to you or down the street from you.
Mhm.
So making yourself extremely visible. So I think investing into social media platforms, TikTok, things like that, to where you can make yourself available to people in all areas, if that makes sense.
And also, it is also an opportunity for entrepreneurship. I know that everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur.
It's
Yeah.
so hard.
It is, but it is a form of freedom, and I think this is the best time ever to actually build businesses directly with people. We've been talking about that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, towards the end of the pod about Black women who've been building businesses, but have had their businesses try to be stolen by white women,
Yep.
and that's an issue.
Yep.
I think I think it's easy to say that too, though. Like obviously starting a business. What about for people that don't feel as though they have any traits or skills that would identify with being an entrepreneur? 'Cause I think that it takes a special kind of person to be an entrepreneur. Let's be honest. It's not in all of us.
Yeah, but I think you discover that though. You don't think you discover entrepreneurship?
That's a, you know, I grew up knowing that, you have a talent, right?
Mhm.
In something. Maybe it's super sexy, like you're able to be a musician. Maybe you're good at plumbing, right?
Mhm.
I was taught that what you should do is find the intersection of what you like and what you're good at, and then find a way to sell it back to the public, right? Either it's getting a job or going into business on your own. Everybody is good at something,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
right? And it's about finding the intersection of what you do that you like doing and what you're good at. So that's
Or
my take on it.
I also say that maybe what you're good at is not necessarily what you can get paid the most at. Because we didn't even have this. So Tabitha Brown said
Yeah.
some things that got her in trouble. This is kind of interesting about the job market because the timing of it was really tough.
Yeah.
So for all the people that know that Tabitha Brown is, she's a creator and entrepreneur. She's created a lot of great products, things that she has deals with Target. And so she basically said, in this midst of Black women losing their jobs, that if you're trying to be an entrepreneur and live out your dreams, you need to have a job.
Well, yeah, you have to fund your entrepreneurship journey.
Well, so she told people, like, she's like, yeah, you can't just go for your dreams. You kind of have to get a job and go for your dreams at the same time. Now, I'm either or is fine. But what I can respect, because she got a lot of back on
Really, for that.
Oh yeah, they've been trying to come at her. She made a lot of women mad because she was basically saying, your business is not popping right now, baby. Go get a job. And a lot of people took offense to that. But what I can say for her is she drove Uber. Like, she drove Uber before she made it. She
Yeah.
was driving Uber and pursuing her dreams at the same time.
Mhm.
So it's not like she's not talking something that she hasn't lived.
I agree with that. And even me, like obviously I'm an entrepreneur and I tell people all the time, like I love being an entrepreneur because I love being able to own my time and do what I'm most passionate about.
Hmm.
And my entrepreneurship journey is attached to purpose, right? I'm doing something that I'm purposely supposed to do.
Hmm.
But there have been times where, yeah, ends do not meet. And I'm very okay with having to take a part-time job or do other things to fund my goals and my dreams. So
Yep.
I haven't read that about Tabitha, but I think I understand a little bit about what she's saying and how she's saying it.
Hmm.
Because I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get caught up more in the fact that we can tell people we're entrepreneurs without us actually being entrepreneurs that actually produce funds,
Hmm.
things that actually we can pay bills with. Sometimes it's a little bit more glamorized than what it really is. There's a hustle that's attached to it. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that have semi-successful or really successful businesses that still go out and hustle, obviously attached to that income that they're making because it's still not easy. It's never going to be easy. So I agree with that.
I want to add into something you were saying, right, Mr. Hayes? I've worked for you since 2019. That's about 6 years, right?
Hmm.
And I've worked for you in several different capacities. And as you know what I like. You also know what I don't necessarily like doing.
Hmm.
But each time, to Mickey's point, I've had to hustle and I've gone out and learned the skills that I need to know. So I say that to say, right, when you are looking for a position or a job, never be opposed to anything. Right. I say this, though, at the age of 26, where I have the time to say yes to everything and fail and find out what works and what doesn't work. So the younger people out here who are looking to do to make something and do something with their lives, don't say no. Like, say yes to everything. You may wake up at 3 a.m. tired, but say yes. It will bear its own fruits later down in life.
I love that. I agree with that. Even me, like with doing Big Brother, a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, like why the heck would you do that?" But honestly, when opportunities come, even the smallest things, like I always say yes because I never want to look back and regret that I didn't do something.
Yeah.
And every time I've done something, every time I've said yes, it's been way more fruitful than when I said no. It's always given me something else attached to it. You know what I mean?
Success is the intersection of opportunity and preparation.
Yeah.
And so if you turn down opportunities, that's where you're missing. I always treat success like this. I always say success is kind of like buses. So in your lifetime, you might get 15 buses.
Yeah.
And bus two might be the one that takes you all the way to the top, the most successful you'll ever be. So don't think that you can let bus one, bus two, bus three go by and you got 12 more to go. So you'll just catch the next one. It don't really work like that. And the majority of success that I've had in my life has come from taking jobs and opportunities that other people didn't want. I was talking about this right now. I said, there would be no fan base without Money in the Bank by Lil Scrappy, which is a song that I produced in 2005, 2006 or whatever. There would be no Money in the Bank without me producing a record for an artist on Rough Riders named Flashy Freddie.
Yeah.
Was on Rough Riders Ride or Die Volume 4. And it would have never happened because from that relationship, his manager became the music supervisor for the movie ATL with T.I. And then he called and asked for beats. Because this is before I started selling beats, actually producing. But I had done Money in the Bank on Scrappy. And then I sent them that record to get licensed in the film, which led to it being a single that I leaked. So if I say no to Flashy Freddie, it wasn't the big. Matter of fact, I never got my back half of that record. By the way, I was supposed to get paid $8,000 for that record. DNY, I only got my front half, never got my back half. I need my $4,000. Anyway, but it led to opportunity that changed my life because music supervision was how I licensed music, which led to the opportunity to borrow against my royalties to build the MVP of fan base. So that's how one opportunity leads to the next, that leads to the next,
yeah.
that leads to the next.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna bring it full circle. But the first time I ever heard Money in the Bank was The Other Guys, great movie in 2010. Will Ferrell and Mark.
Nice races.
Yeah.
We made I made a lot of and that also ended up being used by T-Pain and Buy You a Drink. I've never met T-Pain, but and I don't want him to hate me because I got a good portion of that record because he used part of Money in the Bank and Buy You a Drink, and Buy You a Drink was like 7-8 million singles sold.
Yeah.
But again, it's just that those opportunities, it's you'd be pretty surprised how one yes can lead to a million opportunities.
So many, I think even for me working here at Fanbase, right? The things we do day to day, we've been here on Saturdays. We've been here to midnight doing whatever we needed to get done. Right. I remember Invest Fest, we were here to like 2 a.m, just taking that stage down. So, I mean, it bears fruits at all. I want to talk about, we were talking about Lizzo earlier.
Yeah.
Right. You introduce it, you know it way better than I do. So I think it's appropriate for you too.
So Lizzo basically, she was recently on TikTok, and she made a post about the music industry and how there were no major number one songs of the summer. Like there was not song of the summer this year. I want us to hear that. I want us to hear that clip first, and then we'll listen to it, and then we'll talk about what's going on, and comment about that because it has a lot to do with creator economy and fan base.
Hi, I'm a multiple Grammy Award winning artist with multiple number ones and multiple platinum plaques, soon to be diamond plaque. If you are upcoming in this industry, you should watch this video. The music industry is in complete shambles right now, and you can use that to your advantage. Back in the day, the music industry was very algorithmic, as any other industry was, but that industry was controlled to a certain extent. Now that we are in the digital streaming age, there is no control over the algorithm, and it is stressing people the fuck out, myself included. Every major artist besides Beyonce has dropped music this year, or is planning to drop music this year, or has featured on somebody's record this year. I dropped a mixtape over the summer. I had SZA and Doja Cat on it, and I just dropped the deluxe to my mixtape today. And yet there are still people who don't even know I dropped music. Every major artist from Lady Gaga to Drake has dropped albums this year, and yet everyone is saying there's no song of the summer. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It's not because the music isn't incredible. It's because the way that the algorithm is set up, No one can serve the masses anymore. This industry used to be based on serving the masses, basically like servicing your song out to certain channels and certain radio stations. The internet space wasn't so congested. There was a clear channel back in the day for major artists to put their music out and serve the masses. Now you have to serve your people. I started a private page just for my fans, Lizzo IRL, and it has been one of the most incredible experiences for me as an artist. It gives me an opportunity to talk to my fans one on one and give them the exclusives, share music with them, share my deep thoughts with them. My deep thoughts are not on my main page anymore. And that allows me to have a dialogue with the people who actually give a fuck about me. Because with this algorithm, just putting your music out 9 times out of 10 is not even going to reach your fan base. Think about the way this TikTok algorithm works. Look how many followers I have. Look how many followers you have. And when you post a video, how many of your followers actually see your video? Not that many, right? Because even though someone is following you, it's not guaranteed that they're going to see you on their FYP. And everyone uses their FYP. And TikTok knows that. So for new artists, this is actually incredible news. You now more than ever have an advantage over even major artists to get your music out there and connecting with people at a way quicker rate. Right now is the time to put yourself out there. I wouldn't even try to go the old school route and get signed. I would just make as much music as possible, as much content as possible, and put it on the internet. As for bigger artists, bigger mainstream artists, now is the time to talk to your fan base. Taylor Swift does an incredible job of it, and she's been doing it for a long time. The Swifties are locked the fuck in. And now, so are the lesbians. We're small, but we're motherfucking mighty. Anyway, I say all that to say that this year has been an incredible year for music. It just hasn't been on your algorithm.
All right. So this is to Lizzo and everybody out there. I want to explain to you what's happening and why this has always been happening. So, newsflash, every social media platform is in competition with all of its users. And the reason being is because these platforms are built off advertising. So, if you have 20 million followers, right? If you could post a piece of content and reach 20 million people, and you have the visual viewing equivalent of Sunday Night Football on NBC, and the cost to run a 1 minute ad on Sunday Night Football on NBC is probably around $800,000. So imagine being able to just take checks from brands to say, Lizzo, post this on your page and we'll give you $800,000 every time you post all day, every day. So I always say, why would Instagram or TikTok let you reach 20 million people when they're about to turn around and charge Domino's, Bank of America, McDonald's to reach 20 million people? Because if they didn't, the brands would just come to you, Lizzo, or any other creator and serve ads through your platform. So the new social media landscape has Instagram and TikTok in competition with your user base. So they suppress your content. So no matter how many followers you have, they're going to crush down your visibility so that brands have to do business with the platform. So it has nothing to do with interest as much as it has to do with money. So whenever you see something happening on social media, please don't think that nobody's hating on you. It's about money, right? It's about the dollars, about what's being made, what money can be captured. Now, what you can do, and what I talk about all the time, is that it is about your fan base. You mentioned fan base in this conversation. It's about creating community for your fans that you can monetize. But I wanted to be totally clear on content suppression is real. Algorithmic suppression is definitely there, and it's a part of what happens in social media. But that's why we built fan base. Also, we do not suppress content on fan base. Lizzo, you have a fan base page. We're gonna talk about that because I really want you to see what's available for you to do on fan base. But
Okay. So let's get into it. What I love that Lizzo stated that we didn't talk about earlier was she's niching down on her audience, right?
Mhm.
She's identified her segment, her demographic that loves what she's doing and she's serving that community. What are the takeaways that other artists should have with niching down to their audience?
Well, I'm not even an artist, obviously, but even with her hearing her say that, it just reads to me as pour into people that love you, you know?
Mm.
Like just make things for them and don't worry about trying to make the masses happy because the masses are not the ones that are supporting you. Or what does she call her people? The
Lesbian.
the lesbians. I think that's actually really cute. I love
Great.
that.
It's great.
First time I've ever heard it.
Really? I
Yeah.
love that. The lesbians. Ooh. But yeah, she's basically saying that, hey, the lesbians are who look out for me. These are my ride or dies. I need to create content and create things that are specifically tailored to them and them only. Because why need, why stretch yourself thin trying to do everything for everybody when you have a group of people that want to support you down? So I love that for her.
So the the reason why I call fan base was for two reasons. One, everyone is a fan of something. I don't care if it's basketball, bass fly fishing, crab legs. What is that you?
I love crab legs.
All right, so cool. So she's a fan of crab legs. I got something for you though. I got something for you if you're a fan of crab legs. Matter of fact, I got something for you. But so it is niching down, and you have a fan base. You just came off of a show, right, where you got a lot of visibility and you met a fan. Now, this is what I say about the new version of why we call it the social economy. The ability for you to service those fans without having to sell your underwear, but creating content in ways that allow you to make money and then scale that into a month over month business
Absolutely.
is what this is about. So you have a fan base. So everyone is a fan of something and everyone has a fan base.
Absolutely.
So we all have people that really want to support us. And that's to you out there who is interested, who plays video games. There's somebody out there that wants to see you play video games. If you are someone that recently lost your job, but the skills that you have for your job, this is what fan base is for. Because once video got added to social media, it turned everybody into a television network. Just think about that. The word following is dead, in my opinion. It's about viewers.
Absolutely.
And so why are you not able to reach all of your viewers that want to see your content? And so I wanted to build something that allowed people to have full visibility of everybody that they're talking to, everybody they interact with on social media in a free capacity, but then also create that extra segment and section of opportunity for artists to monetize to their fan base and do it in a way that they can use in-app purchase capability, create activations, do all those types of things. And so, that is the big takeaway from this, is that there is an opportunity to monetize your fan base. You have to take the opportunity to do so, because without it, you're leaving so much money on the table. To every artist out there, including Lizzo, and every human on the planet that sees this, download fan base, create a profile, migrate your content from Instagram or TikTok, and then start building community. And then once you start building community, start finding ways to monetize that audience that you have over there.
I want to ask you this question. You triggered this thought. As Fanbase's founder and CEO, if you were advising Lizzo on how to convert her audience and expand her audience outside of TikTok to her fan base page, what feature sets would you prioritize and why?
So first thing I'm going to do is look at Lizzo's following. So Lizzo has 11.8 million followers on Instagram. So, right, I'm just going to take that 11.8 million people that follow her on social media. When I'm looking at her page, though, on Instagram right now, I see that one video has 788,000 views, 1 million views, 752,000 views, 619,000 views. So her content is not reaching those 11 million people that want to see it. So my point is, what's the point of having 3,399 posts on Instagram if the 11.6 million people that want to see your content can't see it? So my advice to Lizzo would be to make a fan base page, take everything down off all your social media platforms and leave one or two posts and start funneling people to fan base. Because you can still build the same community that you have over on TikTok and Instagram. You can build that over on fan base, but then start creating things that are for your fans. So fan base has the ability to have audio rooms, right? And so one of the things that people do, and I find interesting that when people in streamers stream, is that the only thing they can really do is chat, right? It's really a one-way conversation. But Fanbase has audio rooms. So imagine Lizzo being able to open up an audio room on Fanbase, right? Pull some of her fans in there, talk to some of them specifically, pin her music video to the top of an audio room with a watch party, watch her video, talk to her fans about that, and then the people that really came in there to see that, give them something. And you can make those rooms on Fanbase subscriber-based rooms.
Yeah, so it's very exclusive.
Right. So it's like, all right, cool. So like only the lesbians, right, have access to my audio rooms, my content. So I would do that. I would do video premieres, right? So I would premiere my music and my video for my fans, for the lesbians. I would also find ways. I would use fan-based audio also to create activations with other brands using branded audio. So brand audio gives you the ability to partner with a brand. So now that your audio room is all over, the audio room is actually on the web for anybody to actually use and listen to without having to download the app. And you can create activations with brands that allow them to partner with you, and then at scale have unlimited reach, not even having to download Fanbase, with call to action buttons and really real cool things to do. And then behind the scenes content. Like everybody wants to know, like, Lizzo lost weight. What was that process like? What has this last year been like for her? You know, she looked amazing. So what is this new version of herself that she's out here with now and putting out music now? Like, what is that like, and how to create those stories? Because if I were to say, okay, Lizzo, if you're a Lizzo fan, she has 11 million followers. I do this all the time. And this is the exercise that I feel like people don't get, which is crazy. So if I take 11.6 million people and just take 5% of those people, right, that averages out to 580,000 people. So those are the lesbians, right? 95% of the people that follow you on social media are mildly interested in you. They're nosy or they're haters. Your real fan base is about 3 to 5%. So I'm going high. I'm taking 5%. So Lizzo says, okay, I got 580,000 fans that love me, that really are into what I do. And I'm going to charge $9.99 a month for the lesbians to have access to everything that I do. And she's going to get 70% of that revenue. That's $7 a subscriber. You know how much money that is? That is $4 million a month. That is $48 million a year. So my point is that I know that you started Lizzo. I know that you started Lizzo IRL as an independent way or a separate page, but this is my invitation to you to join Fanbase, build community, right? For free, just like you would on TikTok and Instagram, without your content being suppressed. So everybody that does follow you sees your content, and then create that extra content that allows people to have access and turn that into, that's for an extra $48 million a year is not bad.
That's not.
I could use
You use extra $48 million a year.
for sure.
That's money for a rainy day.
That's money for any day.
Absolutely.
And when you think about that extra $4 million that you're making a month, imagine what Lizzo could do. She could take $70,000, $80,000 and give it away to a fan, or invite 5 or 6 of them out and have a special show for them, a private show, fly them out, do all these cool things that you can do. That is the reason why people don't understand, for every artist out there, the importance of fan base and why that is so important is taking advantage of that opportunity. So that's my advice to Lizzo. I know we had spoken to Lizzo's team before.
Yep.
We are going to reach out again. You do have a fan base page. You actually have some money on your fan base page. I'm not going to tell you how much money you got, but you've made money already just by having fan base. And so this is the opportunity to further that relationship.
So I wanted to just put some numbers behind what you just said, man.
Mhm.
So for any creator and any artist, you really lean into audio. For those looking for engagement, fan-based audio is the most used and most engaged with feature set on the platform. More people have cashed out as a result of audio than any other content format on the app. So when you're looking to come over and do it there. So
I need to do it too.
Yeah, I'm about to say you about to get your fan base popping.
Right. Well, I have a fan base already.
Yeah, but we about to get to
I'm
work.
verified on fan base.
Wherever Corey at, Corey gonna help. Corey.
Shout out to Corey.
Shout out to Corey. We got Corey, you know what I'm saying? We got Corey over there helping out, going over the fan base page, you know what I'm saying? Get it popping over there.
Listen, I need to get to that little 4.8 million you said dollars?
What?
for Lizzo, the 4.8 million.
20 million a month?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
as
yeah.
exceptional as Lizzo, but
It doesn't
a
matter.
girl can dream. Or
Right.
let me
And y'all see these OnlyFans models making 72 million, 48 million. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing too. Let me go on a little mini rant. To the Black community, this message is for you and how you engage with social media. The difference between you and other races of people that create on social media is you think the app makes you when you make the app, right? So prime example, Bad Baby, 16 million followers on Instagram, probably about 12 posts. Want to know why? Why am I here? Why am I posting anything on Instagram if I can't reach 16 million people that want to see my content? Why am I here? So you know what? I'm gonna put a link in my bio and drive them to where I can convert them and make money. And that's why she made that money. You guys are worried about attention or views, really as an artist, when you should definitely be connecting with your fans. That's what we built fan base for.
100%.
100%. That's what we built the app for, to be able to do that. And so to have that conversation, we beg when we get kicked off Instagram and TikTok, give us our page back, let us in. And white folks are like, we out. Go follow me over here where I can get my bread, get my money. We're worried about the wrong things. I think Cardi should have a fan base page. Lizzo should have a fan base page. Black Boy Max, shout out to you because I know that you want to own your own streaming platform within the next 5 to 10 years. Let's have a conversation about that. So shout out to Black Boy Max. I want to talk to you about coming on and building community on fan base and monetizing, especially in the streaming, the online streaming world, the IRL world. We want to be able to do that.
I want to jump into Corinne Marie.
Okay.
You know,
well, let's
we're gonna set the conversation up.
We're gonna set this conversation up real quick. So go ahead, Noah, jump into it.
Last week we spoke about Bree Rami, right, and how her hair clip was stolen by a white woman, right, and then sold, right. So Corinne,
and she got sued.
And
You're that right. woman sued her and an advocate of hers.
Yep.
And the judge issued a gag order that the girl that created this hair clip that went viral.
Yep.
Cannot talk about it.
Really?
And she's been silenced.
Yep.
So, like, if she was sued, what was she sued for?
I guess harassment or something. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
No, it was I think it was libel.
Yeah.
Because she was it was libel because of she kept saying that the idea was stolen.
So
yeah. So it was whack.
But here we are again.
Yeah.
Here part 2, Corinne Marie.
The bookmark bag.
So Corinne Marie is another Black woman innovator that created a product called the bookmark. And what the bookmark is, it's a bookmark with a purse handle where you can fashionably carry your book.
Oh, that's fire.
It's so fire. It's amazing. She started selling this product in the fall of 2024. It became highly successful. Her post went viral on TikTok. Very, very popular. Even to the point that there's a community on TikTok called BookTok for people that like to read. Everybody on BookTok wanted one of these things. They want to wear them. They're totally dope. And then fast forward to this year, I think about July of this year, there is a woman named Shelly Beans that started selling a bookmark purse and claiming that she is the creator and the inventor of the bookmark. And once again, the TikTok community has stepped up. They are definitely calling it out.
Okay.
As another woman having her Black ideas stolen. And so I wanted to bring attention to this because I have not seen this on media. I'm not going to call it any Black media sites, but I have not seen this on any Black media platform. TikTok does a very good job of defending itself. But again, I want to bring up this conversation about another Black innovator having their IP stolen by somebody.
What do you think's happening here, man? Do we think that white women are intentionally stealing these ideas? I want to hear your thoughts on just in general, why does this keep happening?
Well, okay.
Isaac's like,
well, I mean, first of all, Black people invent everything. We've innovated everything. There's a clip going around. Of Donald Trump talking about how great American innovation is. And everything that he named that America invented, it was a Black person that invented it. He's like the light bulb. I was like, bro, Black people did all that. Like we innovate and create everything. And so it's just par for the course of what happens with Black innovation. And, I'm big on protecting your IP. Fortunately enough, I think Corinne has filed a patent on her bag.
Thank goodness.
And we tell people, because I saw people telling Brie that she should have filed a patent on her bag. But a lot of times you're just creating and you want to be creative. But I think this is just another version of what happens when, Black people make something when it comes to rock and roll music.
Yeah.
Which is, which
Famously
was taken. We've invented the ice cream scoop. Ice cream, the
We
alarm,
did invent ice cream. Yeah, I found that out like a couple of
the alarm system, macaroni and cheese,
Plasma.
plasma,
Yeah.
the hot comb. It's so many. There's a list of so many inventions and creations by Black people. Matter of fact, there's something that I can't remember that it was something to do with locomotives. There's a guy named McCoy. I can't remember whatever it is, but he did. Look it up, Noah. There's a guy named, look up McCoy and locomotive. But for whatever reason, he created something for, I think, locomotive engines, and people were making knockoffs, and people was like, no, I want the real McCoy.
Yeah.
Which is where
Elijah